In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? When we created our film noir inspired thriller, we discussed how we wanted our film to fit in with the conventions of film noir while still appealing to the younger audience that we were trying to reach. With film noir being prominent in the 40s and 50s and influenced by German Expressionism, we felt that these old conventions may not appeal to the modern audience. Therefore, we decided to use our research to find new and old conventions of film noir. We started by researching film noir films such as The Lady of Shanghai, where we were inspired by the dream sequence and used similar conventions in our own film. We also researched neo-noirs. This genre uses both modern and old film noir techniques. We specifically researched the neo-noir Sin City. Sin City used conventions such as chiaroscuro and Rembrandt-style side lighting. We tried to incorporate these conventions in our film to appeal to the younger audiences of today. We also found similar conventions in both film noir and neo-noir, with both genres showing themes of patriarchal society and filled with innuendos. Murder investigations, corruption, and moral ambiguity were also recurring themes in the genres. When we were writing our script, we tried to incorporate these conventions, challenging them at the same time. For example, in our film noir-inspired thriller, we have a very dominant female lead. At points in our film, she definitely has a hierarchy of status over the two detectives. This shows that we do challenge the conventions in our film. However, we do also conform to them by showing in a patriarchal society, the detectives also having power over the femme fatale during the scene. Media product represent particular social groups. When writing our script, we researched how particular social groups were represented in film noirs and neo-noirs. We found that film noirs represented females in a negative light, showing a patriarchal society, while the neo-noirs showed a different attitude, with many females being dominant in their roles. We felt it important to keep classic film noir conventions while also conforming to new ones. In our film, the lead character is a woman who has murdered her husband. This immediately gives her a hierarchy of status. However, when she is interviewed by detectives, she seems to be patronised and given a lower status. I feel we effectively stuck to both conventions by doing this. The men in our films are also fitting in with the conventions. They are seen to be arrogant and in a powerful role, which we found in our research of film noir was very common. We also showed our film to an audience, and then we received feedback. When asked how they felt that social groups were represented, they agreed to this. They said that although the woman was in a negative light, in a patriarchal society, she had some hierarchy over the men. Therefore, I feel we have effectively represented particular social groups by showing both sides, conforming to both neo-noir and film noir conventions. However, on a whole, I feel as though we have represented the social group of women in a negative light throughout our film. Although given power, it is often taken away, and the men are always seen to become dominant. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product, and why? Looking at films of our genre today and the film companies who are involved in the projects, we found that it's usually independent distributors who will be involved with the projects. Therefore, we feel companies such as Working Title and Universal will be perfect for distributing our product. Working Title is an independent UK distributor that often is involved with independent UK films such as Submarine and The Powder Room. Working Title also has a working relationship with Universal to help those independent films reach global popularity. We feel that because of this, both Universal and Working Title would be appropriate companies to distribute such a niche genre film such as ours. Working Title's relationship with Universal allows larger funds to be put into the project, which would allow our film to reach a wide array of audiences and also gain in popularity. Looking at other films that Working Title has also distributed, we have determined that they are the most successful UK independent distributor due to its relationship with Universal. Therefore, we feel that it will fit perfectly for our film. Who will be the audience for your media product? Although we feel our film would appeal to a wide array of audiences of different age groups, we felt our target audience was between 15 to 25, as we feel the story and tone of the film would appeal to these age groups after doing questionnaires. As we were also making a film for our age group, we felt it would be easier for us, as we know how to appeal to them. Choosing a younger audience would also aid the success of our film. However, because our film uses an old film noir convention and is heavily influenced by film noir, it would also appeal to older audiences who will be used to this type of cinema. How did you attract or address your audience? We attracted audience by including actors our audience at school would know. This gained our film popularity and attracted audience who wanted to see them. In the film, it also created humour for them seeing their friends in the film. We also attempted to modernise an old genre in order for the film to appeal to our target audience. We did this by several techniques. For example, using social networks to advertise our film, and using colour in our black and white film. By doing this, it made the film more relatable for the young target audience, and engaged and attracted them. We also used a more modern script. We felt that this made the characters more relatable for the audience, and therefore attracted them. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? At the start of the course, we were introduced to new technologies on Web 2.0. I feel that through the course I have progressed with knowledge and understanding of that, and I have definitely improved my skills on the editing software Final Cut Express, through tutorials I have found on social networking sites such as YouTube. On these sites I was able to teach myself editing skills. I also used new applications for the first time such as Photoshop and LiveType. I found Photoshop to be the most useful, and I was able to create the smoke titling for our malfunction film. I then shared how I did it on my blog on WordPress. I have discovered throughout the course how Web 2.0 allows so much information to be shared to people, and I found social networking sites such as YouTube very useful. I have definitely progressed with my skills using technology. I also learnt new things about camera devices we used in our film, like how to get the most clear shot and how to make the picture look blurry. However, although technology has been very useful in the making of our film, through sharing and uploading, I have lost on computers throughout the course work due to them crashing, and it does present the negative side of using technology. However, Web 2.0 has allowed work to be shared between me and my group members. For example, when filming on one computer and uploading it, we have been able to send it to the other computer for the other person to edit. This has been very useful in the process of making our film. I do feel I have progressed in my understanding of the technology, and I feel like this will benefit me greatly. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to the full product? At the start of our course, we began work on our preliminary task. This was the first attempt at filming we had done, and looking at our film today, I can see how much we have evolved as media students, and how our techniques and ideas have evolved. The main purpose of the preliminary task was to use new techniques in filming, such as the shot reaction shot and the 180-degree rule, which we later went on to use in our final film. Although we did use them in our preliminary task, I didn't feel we used them to their full potential, and so we did a second preliminary task with a new script as we felt our old one was poor. The second preliminary task was an attempt at a film noir style film. We did use black and white, and I do feel it was an improvement on the first preliminary task. However, our final film is definitely an improvement on both our preliminary tasks. We have developed our understanding in the media conventions, and this has helped us progress to a better quality film as our end product. Since our preliminary task, we have become a lot more developed in our understanding of the technology and editing software we have been provided. I feel this has enabled us to provide a lot more professional look when we created our finished product. However, at the stage of our preliminary task, we knew little about editing or the conventions of a film noir, so we were unable to produce a good film.